Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Good afternoon, and welcome back to the Virginia Community Overwatch Invitational. It is playoff weekend, and we are in game 2 of the opening round of the playoffs. Hello, everyone. I am your caster, Hodahori, joined as always by my partner in crime, Pulse. How you doing, Pulse?
Things are pretty good still. Got some Apex rounds in between the two games, but nothing too crazy. So this match should be a little bit more balanced than the one we showed a case earlier this morning. Old Dominion being around 3,600, Radford being around 2,600. So still favoring Old Dominion, but it's a lot smaller SR gap than earlier.
Yes, and if you were online and watched the earlier game, Virginia Tech took down Shenandoah University 3-0 in our 12 o'clock game. Old Dominion and Radford are your two teams here that will be playing here at the 1:30 lineup here. Let's just take a look at the rules real quick. It is a playoff format, so these two teams will be playing a best of 5, and it is single elimination, so the team that does lose today will get eliminated, but the team that wins will earn their way into next week's playoff best of 5 and earn a spot in the LAN event at George Mason University. So let's take a look at the team pages here. Let's take a look at the two teams that will be playing. First and foremost, it is the Radford University Highlanders at average SR of 2,600. They're running a 7-man squad. Topside Horse and Base Dad here will be your DPS. CBP and Starmie are your tanks. And at support, they have 3 players, Connor NFL, Taco Bell, and Scrub Lord. Take a look at the roster here for Old Dominion University, running a 6-man squad with an average SR of 3,600. It is Aristos and Zerxton. They will be your DPS. Fenrir and CT Lugo are your tanks, and at support will be Zero Chillery and Cybear. So at 3,600, ODU here does have the advantage, Pulse, but how can Radford overcome a 1,000 SR gap here between the two teams?
Well, worth noting for sure is that both Aristos and Fenrir did peak in GM in past seasons, but they're both currently sitting around 32 and 3,500
Hmm.
respectively, which means that the DPS matchup against Radford is going to be pretty even because the DPS players are also mid diamond ish for Radford. So DPS, the big thing that you want to watch out is for the Fenrir battle against the tank of Radford, just because that one is going to be a little bit one-sided. So
Hmm.
if Radford want to make a good showing, they have to make sure that their DPS are able to keep in check the DPS of Old Dominion, but also sort of keep Fenrir from doing his thing on Ryan.
Yeah, absolutely. So some good tips here from our color commentator. He's the best in the business, folks. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. So we will be starting here on Lijiang Tower, and then the format goes hybrid, 2CP, escort, and if we do go 5, it will be a tiebreaker control point. But the first maps are always predetermined beforehand. It will be Lijiang Tower to start off with. Both teams are still just trying to pile into the lobby to make sure. So when we come back, it will be Lijiang Tower. That will be the first map here between Old DU and Radford University. So stay tuned for that. We'll be right back in a sec.
Initiating match.
Alrighty, folks, welcome back. So, a little bit of a development here. It seems like Radford University will end up only playing with 5, and because the rules dictate that there must be 6 players here in order to compete, unfortunately, Radford here will have to be forced to forfeit, but that doesn't mean we won't bring you something to watch. So, in the meantime, though, we will be watching 5 players here from both sides will be enjoying their game here. It will be a show match here between Old Dominion and Radford here on Lijiang Tower Pulse.
And there's some fun things that can happen because both teams know this is a show match. They're doing it for fun. There's some silly things that could happen. The one player that we mentioned earlier, Fenrir, because he peaked at that really high GM spot, they're trying to get, everyone on Radford was trying to get Fenrir to be the one that got kicked, but instead he's inside playing Mercy, it looks like. So it will be a lot more even. Teams will be able to have some fun with it. We'll see how this plays out.
Yep, and it will be Radford here in red, Old Dominion in blue. Very appropriate considering those are their team colors. So now it looks like both teams are coming in. GT Lugo here going to be shooting here on the Widowmaker, trying to see if he can get anybody as they're coming out of spawn. Not going to be able to do so. It looks like Radford going directly right onto the point here, and will actually hold on to the point. Chillery here on the Hammond here has been grenaded and is going to be forced back. Aristos actually takes down Connor, so big kill here from ODU. Starmie going down also, but the point has unlocked and now is going to be contested here. CBP's got to be super careful as he's now being surrounded by players. He's lost his healer, topside horse goes down. CBP looking for an exit, not going to find it. Well, he finds the exit through the window from the Hammond, and it will be ODU who takes the point.
And this is 5v5, but both these teams kind of evoke some metas 6v6. On the side of Radford, they're running a much more ground-based comp, something closer to GOATs, whereas we see sort of the triple DPS come out, and this would actually make for a very good quad DPS comp if it was 6v6. And the way that they're playing this triple DPS is that they're just setting up to surround everyone on Radford and just sort of playing off of the damage that the Tracer and the Far are able to play in. Xerxen getting 2 off a really big barrage sort of as they walk out of this hard choke, and it's gonna be a hard reset from Radford.
Yeah, Fenrir here with the res immediately. So ODU looking very, very good here. Now Radford now is going to have to sort of come back, figure out what they want to do. Luckily for them, they're not getting sort of choked off in spawn the way that Virginia Tech was doing to Shenandoah. So they're going to be able to sort of come out here. Zero Chillery actually going a little deep here. Of CBP tried to get a swing in, not going to be able to do so, and the rest of Radford here now sort of just making sure that they're able to sort of come out, looking for a spot, looking for maybe an early kill, but Aristos and company still just holding their ground, making sure that they're patient, and Xerxen here on the pharmacy will be able to take out topside horse. GT Lugo goes down on the side here. Great arrow there by Basedad. So 4v4 here. Fenrir going all battle Mercy now. All of a sudden pulling out those skills, trying to shoot anybody he can on that Mercy. Xerxen finishes off Starmie, and this is going to force all of the members back of Radford. They're going to have to back to spawn. 73% here. ODU looking pretty good.
Oh, and Basedad wakes up the sleeping Far, but thankfully she gets killed before she can make it all the way out. So things are looking good for Radford. They have 5v4 right now. They have some ults to sustain this if they want. And as they take down GT Lugo, this is all their game to take point right now.
Yeah, it really is, but GT Lugo takes down topside horse as he got rezzed, and now Lugo going ham here as he's just taking down everybody. That's forced the Reinhardt here to go straight to point. CBP can't do anything, 99%. It was able to trigger overtime, but nobody from Radford's going to make it out alive. And ODU take first blood here against the University.
They had the opening that they needed to take, but then unfortunately they were forced to play into the courtyard just because of where the Hammond mines were. So a little bit slow to rotate to point, and in doing so, GT Lugo decides to click everyone's head all of a sudden. But that was really their fight to lose sort of there at the end.
Yeah, they did get those picks that they needed, and you were right, they were just not quick enough. So old DU here will just need one more map out of the remaining 2 here on Lijiang to take this map here, as ODU will be coming in with some slight changes. GT Lugo going off of the Widow and now is settled here onto the McCree, as Starmie is now gone to the Hammond here on the side of Radford. Radford decidedly going with a heavier comp here, but Xerxen on the Doomfist, I'm interested in seeing what he can do here.
Yeah, but this is a lot of things for Mercy to be taking care of, just running a solo support here. So if they can ever get down topside horse, it's pretty much a one fight from ODU.
And looks like Xerxton went right after topside horse. Oh, triple kill here from Xerxton as he goes a bit ham, and down go the members here of Radford. It looks like CBP finally the other person to go down. Team kill here, as no trouble here from ODU as they're able to take the point relatively comfortably.
They won't be able to hold up in this front room all the way just because they don't have a shield. They don't have anything for their DPS to be safe behind, but they can still sort of hold around this corner and maybe get a good flash from GT Lugo or something like that to open up a fight. But as I say that, GT Lugo gets fire striked and instantly killed.
Yeah, Starmie here asleep on point, trying to sort of push on Fenrir, the Ana here, as now he's finally been woken up. He's also been grenaded, so he's got to be super careful. CBP goes right after Fenrir, and there's just nothing the Ana can do. So down he goes. It looks like they were going to try to take the point over, but instead, Xerxton comes in on the Doomfist, says hello to the remaining members of Radford, clears them out, and keeps the point here. Good job here by Xerxton.
You'd think at this point Radford would really need to switch to a DPS that's able to take care of a Doomfist, because he's had their number just sort of punching around. But as I say that,
Caster cursed.
finally it just gets taken down. Just a little too ham. And some beat for it from the Rhinehammer.
Ooh, raining mines here, and CBP just didn't know what hit him, and all of a sudden he was destroyed, and Starmie and Baystad both go down too. Looks like ODU having a little fun here with the members of Radford. Oh, looks like Topside Horse tried to go in for the res, unable to do so. Connor NFL here going on the Widow, just maybe seeing if he can sort of pick anybody off. Radford hasn't really looked this bad. They just haven't been able to sort of capitalize on their advantages here. And now Zero Chillery trying to sort of just poke in on CBP with 20% left to go. They have to deal with GT Lugo here, who finishes off Connor NFL, and that's going to stagger them again, which means that they're going to only be left with 4 as we're ticking down here. 90% coming in, as now it looks like they're going to push in again. Mines actually set up here for the members of Radford, which means that they're going to be able to so at least zone off a little bit, but Mines dropped on top here from Zero Chill. Aristos actually takes down Baystad, and Starmie goes down along with him, and now Zero Chill, the benefit here of the nano boost, is going to be able to sort of stay alive and make sure that he just sort of stays on the point and just be a general nuisance here for the members of Radford. He's finally off the point. Oh, overtime ticks down. High Noon coming in from GT Lugo. Not going to be able to get anybody there, as Topside Horse hiding on the point, just trying to stay alive, not going to be able to do so. Overtime ticks down, and first blood here goes to ODU.
Victory.
Yeah, ODU playing compositions that fit together a little bit more than Radford, and I think that does say a lot to how easily they were able to stomp, because with the players and what they're playing, you'd think it'd be a little bit closer, but the compositions coming out in this sort of 5v5, just they're playing triple DPS, which is a little bit more common, but you see like Radford playing these snipers with Reinhardt, which is something that just doesn't work very well. So a little bit weird tactical decisions from Radford if they want to take this 5v5.
Yeah, tactical decisions here, and now it's choice time. So they're going to need to know exactly what map to pick. Radford here gets to choose, and we will go to a hybrid map. So, and it looks like it is everyone's favorite. Pulse, do you? If I say everyone's favorite, what comes to mind?
Obviously Horizon, because it's such a good map. Everyone just loves Horizon right now. But of course, we are going to King's Row.
King's Row it is.
This is one of the oldies but goodies of Overwatch. Everyone likes King's Row.
Initiating match.
It's one of those maps where you can just play whatever you want, and it's not really throwing.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? Like one of the reasons that people love this map so much is because the variety of combos that you can play, and especially as a 5v5, it opens up the map here a little bit, just so that you can sort of see teams sort of experiment a little bit. It will be Radford here out on offense first, so Topside Horse and Baystad will get to choose exactly how they want to run this. But as a defense, as 5v5, there's just so much space to cover. There's going to be a distinct disadvantage, I think, on point A.
Yeah, definitely for point A, as long as teams are counterpicking for each other. Just because, like you said, there's a lot of space to cover. There are a lot of things that you potentially need to be aware of if you're... So if people are playing completely serious 5v5, there's a lot of things that you need to be aware of and be aware of for counterpicking if you want to pull off a successful A defense. And that's because say you prepare for snipers and all of a sudden they run out with a Bastion. Like, what are you going to do? Like, if you have a Winston, you have a counter Widow, they just come out with a Bastion, Ryan, a Risa, or some shit. That's just going to completely destroy your composition. So, counter picking is a very good thing to do to take advantage of the offense. And I think both teams should be able to take point A.
Yeah, and we have some position changes here. Fenrir, who was playing the Mercy there on on control, has now gone to the Ashe, and Zero Chill will be handling all of the healing duties here for ODU. As for Radford, CBP and Starmie will stay on the tanks here as they go ground-based, and Connor NFL going with the single healer here. As it looks like Zergston here going to get very, very aggressive and will try to take down Basedad, and absolutely does. CPP in real trouble here. He was purple as the grenade ad actually hit him. Topside Horse takes out Fenrir. So big kill there as Zergston there still wreaking havoc into the back line, takes down Topside Horse. But remember, with 5v5 here, you do just need to take a couple kills and the advantage will be in your way. And I think Radford finally realized that. They're going to be pushing in on the back of this coalescence, and they're going to be trying to take this point here. Zero Chill is going to get pushed off on. GT Lugo going to get the benefit of the nano boost. They should stay on point here and get as much take as they can. Blade coming in from Zergston as he's just trying to kill anybody that he can. Will take 2, will take 3. Graviton, though, will not actually get anybody else, but they do get a tick out of this, and Force Ult here coming out of ODU.
There's really not much counterplay. There's the Shatter coming through, but they did have to blow more or less everything being Grav, Nanoblade, just most of the impactful ults. So this is really Radford's chance to sort of get in here. They take down Zergston early, too, so that was sort of the person that cleaned up for them. They don't have that option now on Radford.
Yeah, they don't, and they come in. Huge Earth Shatter here from Aristos, was able to get the backline, but Basedad takes down Fenrir too. Radford need to understand that they have a huge advantage right now and should be pushing in. They are going to be on the point. Basedad here had flanked all the way around, takes down Zero Chill. Starmie takes down GT Lugo, and Radford here will take point A if they can get Zergston down. With a Moira on the field, they don't need to aim, and down he goes, and point A here going to Radford.
Yeah, and that's exactly what they need to get through. Basedad opening that up with a huge 3K, finally able to make the team realize that, hey, we can stay on point now. So they're pushing all the way up, getting as many stagger kills as they can, but with Moira falling, that's a lot of their sustain. You do have soldier heals, but that's not a whole lot to sustain against a Bob that's on the field.
Yeah, and Basedad here already taking out 2, getting the space that he wanted, forcing a Bob to come out here from Fenrir. He's had to sort of blow the ult, but they were doing that while the payload was coming out of the spawn. So really nothing lost here for Radford, as now they're on the payload, moving it out, and the defense here has sort of shifted back. Shenandoah University here, instead of being able to defend first corner, are going to have to defend second and third here, as CBP has sort of moved up and created a good amount of space here for his team as they're sort of pushing through. Aristos here needs to sort of reclaim a little bit of that space as that payload comes through. Graviton comes in and a Bob gets sent in right into the middle of that, and 3 kills here by Radford as they're able to sort of take them down. Bob doing what Bob needed to do, and now they're looking really good here to capture point B.
And that was something that we sort of saw Radford having trouble with, is they went aggressive with their ults, and it paid off. They completely shut down any chance of counterplay that they could have had, because otherwise they would have had a Nanoblade coming up in the last fight, and you don't want to get stalled. However, they do have the Nanoblade, and they have both tank ults coming in, so they need to be aggressive again and shut this down.
Coalescence coming in, and Zergston coming in here with the Nanoblade, as he's going to be trying to get into the background. I think he's had enough of Radford now. That he takes down 4, but it was unable to stop the fact that Radford did get point B. So very, very good there by Radford. They get bladed out, but not going to be able to stop them from capturing point B.
Yeah, that was almost perfect from ODU, but they weren't paying attention to the cart, kind of left it. And when you get point B like that, even if you lose that fight, it's not a good thing to take them down, use Nanoblade, and lose point, just because the spawns are so close. And also basically reset, and ODU does take up a fight win again, but it's these sort of fights where when they're building up ults, it's not really going to matter as much, because both teams are going to be wanting building up their ult economies. The cart was already stalled because they lost the fight anyways, so getting the small victories, but not really setting themselves up for later on.
It does play very, very differently than playing with a full 6. So now it looks like Basedad has just been the sort of DPS carry here for Radford, as he's been getting these great kills. CBP here charging right onto Aristos, who actually ends up getting doubled up with the Coalescence in the ground, and now Radford making some great room here as they're coming in. CBP going huge, takes Zergston out too. His DPS is gone. The payload slowly but surely moving onto the point. They need to contest quickly here, or they're going to give it up with a huge time ban. Bob coming in to contest, and it's not going to be able to do very much here as Bob is going to be into the background, takes out Zero Chill, Aristos and Cinti Lugo here. And now Zergston coming in again here with another blade. He's going to have the benefit of the Transcendence. They're going to take Sarmi out. Aristos here being huge, being able to stop that payload with only 2:45 to go. 2:53 here on the clock. A full reset coming in, but they've taken it really far down in King's Row C.
And since Zero Chiller is running a solo on it from, just switch over to Zed, but Zero Chiller has just been able to get nano after nano, because when you're a solo Ana, there's a lot of healing that needs to go out, and you're able to give that. So they have another nano coming up. They have a Graviton that's going to be on deck, and again, they're just sort of stalled out Radford at this first choke because it's going to be so hard to attack this second point with only a Moira.
Yeah, as it looks like here, they catch him back into a Graviton. Zergston here able to sort of just dash in and finish them off. Connor NFL trying his best here to get Zergston on that Moira, not going to be able to do so. Dynamite comes in, doesn't really do very much either. And now it looks like ODU has sort of strengthened up a little. They've actually said, nay, we're not going to give up any more space. 2 minutes here left on the clock as ults are coming up here for Radford. If they use these right, this could be a really good push for them.
But Aristos is way out of the fight right now. He was trying to send for a plate shatter, but I think everyone just hold W and he didn't realize it. Oh, he gets a pin!
He gets a pin, and now Zergston here with another Nano Blade will try to get and finish off CBP. He does come back in. That didn't really hurt them, but they still do lose two. They're able to sort of push them back. 1:33 here left on the clock. ODU living on a knife's edge right now.
Yeah, you can say that. Radford, they still are playing the solo Moira, which is going to be really hard for them to break. It's 2 support, 2 tank. They're running just 1 support, the Ryan Zarya, and Moira's getting a lot of Coalescence, but if you can only win on Coalescence fights, then you're not really opening yourself up to a lot of chances.
Oh, Bob gets sent in. He was slept but woken up here, forcing Fenrir to use the Transcendence to make sure that his team stays alive. Zergsting again on that Genji, nothing stopping him as he takes 2 down. GT Lugo joins in on the killing also. 1 minute left here on the clock. Topside Horse has gone to the McCree, and I think it's specifically for the flashbang to deal with Zergston himself to see if they can sort of slow him down. CVP coming out here with the Fire Strike, trying to see if he can get anybody else. That payload is backed up pretty much all the way here to the first corner as it looks like it's gone all the way back. The amount of space that payload has made up is incredible. Coalescence coming back in. Starmie gets down Aristos, and Zergston, though, dealing with Topside Horse, not without another issue. He's got another blade, and he's going to want to use it. And here, he's getting into the backline. He sees, he's, I think, waiting for the Nano from Zero Chill. She's got the Nano now. He's got it now. Here comes the blade again. Can Zergston be the hero again? He takes out 1, takes out 2. He's going after Base Dad. Down goes Base Dad again. 4 seconds left to go. Topside Horse here just needs to get taken out. Can he do it? Yes, he does, and that is going to be that. ODU stop them from getting point C, but it's pretty much ODU has to go all the way through and cap point C in order to win King's Row.
That's they did stop him at point C, like you said, but you're basically gonna have to cap point C anyway. The biggest thing coming for Radford there was just not switching to a second support. They never really had the sustain they needed for fights unless they had a Coalescence, which means every other fight at best they had a chance to win. But if there's a Coalescence and your team gets purpled, then you don't have the sustain anyway. So there was sufficient counterplay in hero picks from ODU to counter anything that was coming from Radford there in the point C.
Yeah, and it was very, very hard for them. As soon as they got stopped, momentum was with Radford pretty much for most of that fight until they hit that hard stop there at the very end where they did not have spawn advantage, unable to take advantage of some of the 1 or 2 kills that they would get against ODU as they were pushing through, and then it was just curtains for them. The counterpicking actually worked into their favor, and Zergston there was just a menace on the Genji. Now, we get to see ODU here on offense, and you see a little bit Zergston here switching from the Genji to the Tracer. Maybe just see.
I mean, they're still in spawn. You don't know what they're going to run out. For all we know, they could like Bastion, Ashe, which isn't likely, but you never know.
Yeah.
Topside Horse is filling back in on support with the Zen, and Connor is running Moira, which is not my favorite support duo. It's probably honestly one of my least favorite, but
Mhm.
again, comfort picks play a huge role into this.
Absolutely, and especially as a 5v6, you don't have to heal as much, but you have more responsibility, which is a little sort of different. CVP here getting hit again with a grenade, and you know, ODU just letting him sort of chill out and make sure that he sort of survives through it. Not going to be super aggressive there and try to take the advantage. Dynamite actually gets sent here into the back. GT Lugo finally finishes him off, but Topside Horse takes out Zergston. So DPS down, but the advantage here might be way too much for them to sort of understand to sort of take back. Connor NFL gets taken out. They're not on the point yet, but they will, as they are slowly but surely taking it down. This will be a take here for ODU.
And it's a little bit of musical chairs between the tanks and supports right now from ODU. Because Aristos, who's playing Ryan, is now on Zarya, and the Zarya is playing Ryan, so it looks like they're having a little bit of fun with it. But they didn't really take advantage of spawn kills, which is something that you would have thought that ODU would be doing.
Yeah, you would think so, but based out here, taking down Zergston is just not going to be able to force ODU to sort of push and make space, which is what Radford was able to do against them here in the Streets phase. So ODU decidedly looking a little less sort of aggressive with their push here through King's Row. Radford here now set up on the first corner. They're going to be able to sort of chill out here. Earthshatter comes in, not going to be able to get anyone here. Aristo still comes in. Zergston able to take out Basedad. Graviton into the background will catch down CVP, but a good Transcendence here by Topside Horse will be able to sort of take out nullify the effects there, excuse me, of all the damage coming through. Graviton now comes in, but not the kills that are coming. CVP and Connor get taken out. Graviton's effects usually are for the offense here, but it looked like as the rest of the members were coming in, Radford started to get taken down one by one, and it will be ODU here sort of strolling along to point B.
Yeah, Connor and Topside both used their ults at the same time to sort of save their team, and as soon as Connor fell, they were left without any sustain because the solo Zen cannot heal 4 bodies at once, unfortunately.
Yeah,
and this looks like they're going to get all the way to point B off of that fight.
And this is on the back of Zergston because he is in the background. He's done his job. What he's done is he's basically stalled up most of the members of Radford here, and they've gotten the payload to point B. You're absolutely right, Pulse. You called that. But with on the back of Zergston sort of just being a complete nuisance in the background as they were unable to dislodge him, has allowed ODU here to all the way take it to the first corner. 5:16 here on the clock. So, Pulse Bomb here on the Topside Force, who's forced to use his Transcendence to make sure that he survives through that, but Basedad still getting taken out here. Advantage now with ODU as they're trying to push through first corner, as now Earthshatter comes in, will get the back, but Graviton will catch the members here of Radford, finishing them off. Lots of melee kills as Aristo and Zergston here getting punch kills, and now it's just going to be the rest of the members of ODU. Can Radford make it out of spawn?
Basedad can't die here. If he dies, then they lose all chance of recontest. They need that Bob this fight if they want to be able to win.
Yeah, Bob will actually get positioned in a very, very nice spot here, right onto the payload. Will be able to contest. Zergston here was able to get Connor NFL, but GT Lugo going down might be the big kill, as they do lose a Reinhardt, which means no shield, no push. So Basedad finishes off Zergston. He's not going to be able to annoy them in the background today, and it will be back. 4:19 here on the clock. And it is going to be ODU trying to sort of put pressure here on Radford to finish off this point C.
And this is sort of getting into the position where ODU really needs to take advantage of their doubles and pulse bomb. If Zergston can get a really big pulse bomb, possibly on this Moira that's ulting, because she's an easy target, can't fade, then they can close out this fight very early.
The pulse bomb here unfortunately gets put onto the payload, and GT Lugo takes down CVP. There's the opening that they were looking for, and now Lugo taking the fight all on his lonesome as he's able to take down 3. That gives them an open run here right to the goal, the blue box of victory. It's not golden, and nobody going to be able to come out here in time as CVP gets slept as he approaches the payload. Good show there by Radford, but ODU just too strong there on point B. Point C, excuse me.
Play of the game.
This game was won off Zergston's back right now because every single fight, like they were playing for Nanoblade, and they knew they were playing for Nanoblade, and every time it came out, he pretty much got a team wipe by himself.
Double kill. Triple kill.
Yeah, and it is best of 5. Oops, and excuse me, I almost forgot to hide chat again. The Radford guys are going to give me crap for that. Oh, it looks like they're going to have to come back here. Everybody's getting pulled back into the game. They didn't realize it was best of 5 because the format changes as we go into the playoff round. So teams here, Base Dad and CVP piling back into the lobby. 2CP, Radford there looked fairly good through the streets phase of King's Row and just were unable to sort of close the deal on Old Dominion. So it gives me a little bit of hope here that the 2CP matchup here between these two teams going to be going to be very competitive, and ODU can't sort of rest on their laurels as they're going to have to decide on what 2CP map they're going to have to play.
Yeah, and I for sure I don't think the Mora Zen was sufficient sustain for them. More you really want person that way you can get even more ult charge, just because more bodies means more gets more effect, since she is such a good clump up healer. Like if you can heal an entire team, you want to take advantage of that. So they might want to consider switching to something like an Ana or a Lucio, depending on what tanks they want to play. But they definitely need two supports when they go for the attack on second point, or even defense on second point in 2CP, just because you need that level of sustain.
Hold on, just gotta fix my scoreboard here. Looks like the scoreboard is incorrect, as I will need to make sure that it is ODU here who is up 2-0. And it looks like they have decided on a map, and it will be Hanamura. So Hanamura here will be your next map, and it will be Radford here in red.
Match.
And Radford here in red, and it will be Old Dominion here in blue just before we're just going to get settled in here. Hanamura, not necessarily a favorite of a lot of people, so it's very interesting that they've decided to pick this map.
I mean, in general, 2CP is kind of hated as a game mode, just because the map that requires the most amount of coordination, especially among like solo queue and stuff. So a lot of people kind of hate all the maps. A lot of people really hate like Anubis more, Horizon more. So Hanamura definitely isn't a favorite, but for some people, it's the lesser evil.
Ready for battle.
Yeah, so it is going to be the lesser of two evils here for these two teams. So this theoretically could be the last map that we could see here between these two teams. As remember, it is a 3-point scoreline that will determine the winner. ODU here up 2-0 up on Radford. It looks like the Monarchs here running with a Bastion. So their top 500 GM player Fenrir here has decided that he wants to play Bastion. Excuse me, not Bastion. Torbjorn.
It's not a Bastion.
It's a turret. So it looks like, though, we will have a pause situation as we are suffering some technical difficulties. Looking like possibly a disconnect coming here from ODU. Looks like they did lose Fenrir. So
yeah, they lost their Torb, so they're losing their 5th and 6th players in the Torb in his turret. But they have 16 seconds left. Even if he reconnects, he won't be able to get back in time to set up his turret where he wants. So things are looking good for Radford this first fight, as long as they recognize that and remember to press W, use speed amp, all the good things.
Yeah, as everyone knows, playing in an online tournament, things happen. Internet connections are not solid for everyone, so unfortunately, it's just one of those things. We do have to always sort of have to deal at the mercy of the internet gods. And I don't know who their service provider in the Tidewater area is, but hopefully it's not Comcast, because they are terrible. Because I live in
some shade on Comcast.
I live in an area of Northern Virginia where Comcast is the main service provider, and they are not good. They are not good. And though it is because it is a historical part of Northern Virginia, so that should be giving a hint to you, so that if you are in Virginia and you think historical, you sort of know exactly where that is. So it looks like here, pause here, going to be actually refreshed, as it looks like Fenrir is back. And we're going to get back to the game here. He's going to be coming back on old Torby, but with only 12 seconds left to go. You're right. He's not going to be able to sort of set the turret where he's going to want it, as he's only going to be coming in through the doors, pretty much as Radford here are going to be able to start already attacking. And they're going through the back here. And they're going to try to sort of stall him here into the back as they realize with the pause that they can just sort of just go on in and see if they can impose their will. Turret actually gets placed into the rock garden. Xerxton takes down topside horse, but they lose GT Lugo in the process here. CBP swinging away here at that turret as GT Lugo gets res, but they lose Aristos. And the rest of the members of Radford here are on the point trying to get as much percentage as they can. Xerxton here on the Hanzo able to just sort of stop that in all of their tracks, and that is going to be that. Looking a little rough, but that was probably due to the pause.
Yeah, that was Radford's fight to lose, and it looks like they got a little too excited about it. Maybe got a little too caught in the and we really need to take this, and some people got picked out of position because of it. So, still got to be serious if you want to take that first fight.
Yeah, what happens is if you happen to rush too much, bad things can happen even though you do have the advantage. Remember, you got to play with your brains, folks. Got to stay calm in these situations. All teams suffer from it, so it's just one of those things. GT Lugo here is going to have the job of holding the front door, as Xerxton here is just doing massive damage on the Hanzo through the back as he sends a dragon right through the front door. He's going to be able to finish off people as Connor NFL here trying to get onto the point and just sort of force a change, but unfortunately he's not going to be able to do so. Starmie does take Xerxton as he overextended here into the back, and now losing that Hanzo, they realize they have an advantage, Pulse.
Yeah, and it's in a spot where Aristos can't res that, so a little bit far forward. Sturimi doing a really good job of just making sure that they have another opening this fight.
Oh, mines are going to be put in. Dear Connor and topside horse just in an area that's not going to be good for them. Connor got taken out, so they lose one of their healers here as the Lucio just unable to get away. He stood still got blown up as unfortunately the mines just had too much range. Topside horse and Starmie here now in bad positions. Basedad gets taken down, not going to be able to do anything on that Genji right now, as it looks like Zero Chill is just able to sort of force CBP back as the fight will continue. GT Lugo finishes off CBP. This push is done, as now the rest of the members of Radford can get pushed back. 143 here left on the clock. They've got to solve this puzzle quick or they're going to get full health.
Yeah, and Xerxton throwing in a curveball by switching to Pharah, so it's making it a lot harder for them to just walk in for free. We see Radford have this Nano Blade combo coming up, so that needs to be absolutely huge if they want to take point A.
Yeah, they absolutely do. Basedad here has got to find a way to get clean into the background and use the blade, but they've got to also worry about topside horse, who has been picked off a couple times on the approach, so got to make sure both of them stay alive here with this as this approach goes into the offense, as now they're going to be going in through the shield side here from the south side with regards to not going to be able to get rained on. CBP goes immediately for the choke. They get caught into the graviton. Lucio ult comes out. Here comes the ult here from the Torb. It's going to cover the front door. Here's the blade here. They need this to work. Basedad comes in, gets Fenrir, but the ult here from Xerxton will get 3. Connor NFL here onto the point, trying to do as much as he can. Not going to be able to do so. They're able to hold. They're out of cards here as all ults were used. CBP will come in with an Earth Shatter, but he's going to need the Earth Shatter of his life in order to capture this point.
Especially since they have mines, they have Valkyrie on the defense right now. Things aren't looking too good for Radford.
And now CBP coming in through the front door. They are not necessarily in the spot that they want to be. Here's the Earth Shatter. Not going to be able to catch anyone, and down he goes. Topside horse, though, able to take down Aristos. And remember, this is fight to the finish. Fenrir takes down Starmie. GT Lugo and Fenrir here got the point locked down. That's going to be that. 1.0 seconds left to go. No overtime as they are unable to cap it. Good fight there by Radford, but just comes up short. Nuts to them, unfortunately. Zeros on there, not able to get a tick, and ODU just needs one tick, and they will finish off this show match between them and Radford.
Initiating.
And like you said, it's not a good position to be in as Radford. It's not unheard of to hold this because we just saw it, especially if you run like things like Tor Bastion. They give you a really big advantage in 5v5 because they're a lot harder to counter without having that extra slot available for the other team. So not unheard of, not impossible, but even then, a draw is a draw, and things pretty much are are going for OD's win at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. So now ODU here can come in with multiple comps. They can sort of decide what they want to do. They could sort of fake out here with like almost like a quad
Ready
tank
for
comp
battle.
if they really want to. Just sort of force their way onto the point and make them kill them. They looks like Xerxen here is trying to sort of fool us by saying he's going to go on a Bastion, but honestly, Bastion sort of does work because you could teleport the Bastion
Attackers
onto the point,
incoming
which
in
we've
30
done before in
seconds.
Open Division Pulse. So, not necessarily the most out there strategy here coming out from ODU.
No, it looks like they're going to run this seriously, and it's not the weirdest thing to run, like you said. The defense is coming out with a Torb and Bastion, so equal firepower, but they don't have that shield that Fenrir has. They don't have the bubble that GT Lugo might have. I don't know. It looks like they are running Diva. Okay, so
Yeah.
they both are matching Divas, but they don't have that shield that they need to
Defend objective A.
protect their high value targets. We'll see how this works out. And
Yeah.
if they can just walk in there, cap it before anyone from Bradford can get to the point, then they have this.
Yeah, and here comes the teleporter, and they're gonna run right into the Bastion and the turret right there. Just a lot of stuff that'll be surprising them as they come through that teleporter. Aristos takes down one of the turrets, and he does take Starmie's mech down. He's going huge here on this on the Symmetra. Unfortunately, not going to be able to survive Basedad. Zerxton takes down Basedad as Fenrir here trying to see if he can get Basedad before trying to get the Mercy before the res comes in. Not going to be able to do so. And Radford here able to sort of shut them down as CT Lugo gets taken out here. Perfect defense to set up for the teleporting Bastion, I think.
And really big in that fight was Ray just getting caught off very early. So they had absolutely no sustain to keep anyone else alive. Xerxen being a little cheeky, not taking the teleport front, but he had a couple picks, but not enough to take the point. So we'll see how this changes for the second there.
And here they go. They actually decide to teleport onto the high ground instead, so not basically going straight onto the point. So they're going to be trying to look for spots here. Uh-oh. Xerxen got slept. He's there on the corner. They got to make sure he stays alive here. He's super, super important to this comp, and now it looks like they're going to be wrapping around. They're going to be wrapping around the high ground as we're going to sort of follow them through. They do have that shield, and look at this. 5,000 damage shield here now being set to split the team here. So not necessarily all the damage that they can do. They're going to protect the turrets on the opposite side of the door. Great Symmetra play here from Aristos as it's going to force the members here to come in through the side. And that's going to be that. I love it. That was some big brain plays coming in from ODU, being able to use the assets that they had, and great Symmetra play from Aristos that will win them that point. 3-0 here goes to ODU over Radford University.
It's kind of funny too because they ended up capping that off the back, more or less just forcing them off point. A lot of the team was still alive. We saw the Mercy sort of swoop in at the end, but it was just a little bit too late to contest.
Yep, a little just late to contest, and that is going to be that, folks. That is going to be the score for the day. ODU here is able to finish off this match here with Radford University 3-0. Hanamura was your third map. Congratulations to ODU. They earn their spot in the LAN event here at GMU. Radford University, unfortunately, good showing by them. Unable to field a whole team, unfortunately. They ended up doing the showmass 5v5 for us to watch, but thanks to them, they were able to see good sports. And unfortunately, though, ODU able to sort of take this 3-0. Final thoughts, Pulse, on this match between Radford and ODU.
That's very entertaining, to say the least. Very, very close too, especially for being a 5v5 and Old Dominion fielding their best player. Fenrir is just nuts on everything he played, and Xerxen also nuts, just picking at 4Ks like it's easy. Just, every time you press Q, at least 3 kills on the ult feed, so good play from both of them. I think the biggest thing that came down between the two in that 5v5 was Old Dominion had better 5-man compositions, which is something you don't really have to think about, so I can't blame Radford, but just a little bit more together on compositions in Old Dominion with clear win conditions. Radford was doing things frequently like running snipers with Ryan and like a Moira or something, so the Moira can't heal the Ryan and the snipers and stuff like that, so just a little bit better 5v5 metas coming through in case anyone watching was wondering how to play 5v5.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's going to do it for us today. I hope you've enjoyed our presentation here of the VCOI. Remember, next week is round 2 of the playoffs. You'll see ODU again and Virginia Tech, and 2 more teams will be jumping in as they qualified here, a first round bye. So we'll just mention it is George Mason University and James Madison. Both of those teams will be then thrown into the playoffs here. ODU and Radford University and Shenandoah University bide out at this stage of the tournament. We thank them very much for participating in the VCOI. But next week, you will see 4 teams go at it. George Mason University, the Patriots of Northern Virginia, Virginia Tech Hokies, the Old Dominion Monarchs, and the James Madison University. You know what? I don't think I know who their mascots are.
The mascot's just the face of James Madison.
It's
Come
the
on.
face of James
Everyone
Madison.
knows it.
But you'll see those teams starting 12 p.m. next week here on Saturday. Remember, check your local listings. We will be here on the George Mason University Overwatch channel, as you'll see these 4 teams try to seed themselves here for the LAN event on April 5th. But that's going to do it for us. For Pulse, I am Hoda Hori. Thank you so much for joining us today, and we will see you next week.